Pause this.
That I had just redirected you to NASDAQ to do 2 weeks ago, you can now do right here on this same platform. So you don't have to jump around. The NASDAQ is there just in case you wanted it, but it's now been added to TD Ameritrade. And so you can see what bloggers think, all of the bloggers out there, insider activity. It'll basically tell you, and we'll go through some of these details, but it'll kind of give you how much of the stock has been sold off. All right. And so you can see that this was decreased. Hedge fund activity decreased by 200, $290 dollars of shares just last quarter. So you can see, and I think that's more like in the millions, but we're going to go into the details. But you can just see what the investor sentiment is. Like, so I don't agree with it, but they say the investors in the past 7 days, the investor sentiment is very negative about Workhorse, which I kind of find that hard to believe. You can still see that it's still a moderate buy. The technicals, though, and this is what we basically go off of, is the technicals is very positive. So the technicals are positive, and the sentiment is neutral. I think it's also a moderate buy. And when they talk about like investors, I'm sorry, guys, I gotta keep moving you around. When they talk about the investor sentiment, I'm not pretty sure how they get that very negative when the bloggers, or most of the time, or some of the investors as well, and the analysts are all saying buy. How can investor sentiment be very negative? So I kind of don't agree with that. But let me take you into, and I hope it doesn't change screens on me. Let me see here. The analyst ratings. I'm just going to go into the details. And as you can see here, can you see this screen, or did it change again?
We can see it.
Okay. All right. So down here at the bottom, it kind of gives you a range, right? And so what I would like to do though is use this up against like the Bollinger Bands or the RSI, just to see if it matches up, right? So you take the information that you receive and overlay it on something that you're already using, any of the other indicators, just to see if it's in alignment with what indicators you're using, whether that's the relative strength index, the Bollinger Bands, any of that stuff, right? Any indicator that you're using that you feel comfortable with, just compare what you see here, because this is basically the analyst price target. So they're basically saying, now we all know the stock is trading much higher than this right now. So the stock is above that, and in most cases, some people that are going to do a spread may say, hey, based on this information, there might be some pullback, or they'll buy a put to try to get some directional movement down if the stock does come back to $30. So somebody may purchase a put leap out there for $30 down the road based on this information right here. And if you go into this, right, so it gets a little deeper. So you can go in here and see these are the analysts that this is rated off of, right? And so they even grade the analysts. So you see that they have right here, we got 6 analysts, Gregory Lewis, and they'll tell you where they're from. Like, so Colin Rush, he's from Oppenheimer, Craig Irwin, Roth Capital, Rod Lackey is from Wolf Research, Jamie Perez, RF Lafferty, and Michael Shilsky is from Collier Security. And so these companies have ETFs too. And so what you could do is, when you see that they rated them a 3.5 star or a 5 star, if you click on, and it'll tell you this is their price targets, right? And most of these people got access to a lot of capital, so they're on the hook really to make sure that their price targets are kind of close to what they think may happen. So if you just click on this Colin Rush guy, right, it'll tell you how often he has been right. If you come in here, can you see that? Did it pop up?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna drag it down a little bit. So out of 406 ratings, Colin Rush has been right 268 times. And that success rate is 66%. and basically he's got an average return, and his main sector is technology. So in the technology sector, anybody that's want to take Colin Rush's advice against match that up, overlay that against Kathy Wood's advice, overlay that against the come up cousins series, and get you a good solid result, right? So it'll tell you they now have all this information laid out right here, and so it'll also tell you what other stocks that he is buying. These are other companies that he is into. So he's into all of these other companies right here, and it gives the target price, and it gives you the position that that stock was in 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 8 days ago, 9 days ago. So you can also use this as a way to come up with a good company to do a good solid analysis against. You have a lot of good data right here. I'm a bag out of this. I'm gonna pick somebody else. So Jamie Perez, right? He got 3 stars. So I'm gonna go see how often Jamie Perez has been right. All right. So Jamie Perez, he hasn't been doing a whole lot of ratings, but he's 16 of 30, which is a little bit over 50%. Um, Average return is been about 12% based on his success rate. But if you scroll down, you can also see that Jamie Perez, he's also he's also a buyer of these companies here. We and we all know like Lordstown Motors is a part of Workhorse, I believe. So this symbol right here, ride.
It's EV, right?
Yep. All right, let me go. I think my screen moved again. All right. So Lordstown is part of their and Tony may know the answer to this. Tony, I mean, not to throw you out there, but is Lordstown the like one of the financial backers of Workhorse? Is that the deal?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't really been keeping up on the EV stocks and stuff lately. Kind of switched over to the medical field right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know Lordstown, I believe, is another one of those Chinese Chinese EV companies.
Lordstown. Okay.
I believe so. I could be wrong, but I think they are. Maybe not though.
Okay. Well, I'll try to. Let me see here.
Click on company profile up there.
Yeah, click on company profile.
Company profile underneath the name there. That'll tell you.
Yeah.
Up. Yeah. Electric vehicles.
So no, it's not. It's not a China company.
Okay.
Yeah, and I could have swore this Lordstown was affiliated with Workhorse, and you know the symbol that I went to, so you can it came up when I came down to do the fundamental analysis for the Workhorse. So let me see if I could spin this back.
General Motors invested in.
General Motors, yeah, and let me see. So they're at a neutral $30 price point. But let's see. Let's go do the. We're just gonna walk through this one more time. We're gonna view the details. Let me share this screen. Hold on. I know it popped up somewhere. All right. There we go. Okay, so they got him as a neutral. Hedge fund activity decreased. Insider activity is up. And so let's go in something else, right? So we went into the analyst ratings tab. Let's go into something else. Let's see what the bloggers say. Come on. All right. So, and the reason why I wanted to do this too is so like when you go into the blogger section, they're going to give you some of the good same information. But do you see up here where some of these names come from? I know we use Molly Fuel, Seeking Alpha, and Investor Place to do. I know I use Investor Place a lot, but these bloggers are working for those companies. And when you go in, most of these titles up here, you're probably already looking into. I know a lot of people don't like Motley Fool, sorry, because that I think they give a lot of backwards information or it's late or outdated. But when you come in here, you will see who these bloggers are. Some of these bloggers, if you go to the actual like Seeking Alpha, um, or say this Mark Hake at Investor Place, they'll have an email and they do accept questions. And if you come over here, the article that they wrote about it is also attached. So if you want to go read what they said about it, you can go back and catch the article. So I just wanted to show everybody this, right? And we don't have to go into a lot of the details. It's kind of self-explanatory, but I did want to let you all know that this did get added. It's a good, I think it's a good tool to use, and you can use this to kind of back test some of the information that you're getting from some other places. Maybe like the cousin come up series, and um, uh, there's what is it called? Black Girl Stock, blackgirlstock.com. I sent that link out. I think everybody got the link.
Yeah.
Um, but you can not, just go in, take a look at some of the new stuff. And like I said, this has been added since the Charles Schwab merger. So this didn't used to be set up like this, but now it is. So I just wanted to point it out to everybody. It's real easy to use. You can go in and help you make some good decisions. So I just wanted to talk through that. And Gerald, did you want to talk about some of the new things that you picking up?
Yeah. Some of y'all may be familiar with the Come Up Cousins, and like Dello said, there's a lot of people out there, man. This is just one that we kind of are vibing with here lately, and I want to present something and actually present it to the group and have you guys jump in on a discussion after it's over, so that we can come up with a conclusion. Carmisha and us, we had a conversation and tried to break it down, but just I guess for my clarity, man, we can do a deeper dive. I just want you all to see how this young brother comes up with a strike point. That's what you hear all the time about strike point. What's a good strike point? And he has a formula, and we've been using this formula, but I'll kind of pull the curtain back a little bit. It's on leaps, and you can find a strike point on a leap, but it's different than what we were taught. Like Delos taught us a successful way, and if you've done a leap the way Delos told us, you've had success. If you found the right company, et cetera. And we'll show you what our plug is looking like from, let's say, a Delos Simon standpoint, and then we'll show you what the some of the latest leaps that we've done from a Mark Monroe, which is that gentleman's name, from his standpoint. And then we can talk about the difference, because I'm still trying to get some understanding, because they're both making money. So with that said, I'm gonna share my screen, and this will show you his breakdown. And again, this is the Come Up Cousins. Some of you all are familiar with it. Alicia gave us these guys, if you remember her first when she came on as a guest speaker. And he's got a lot of value on this channel, and we've just been kind of following along with some of the nuggets. So let me see here, guys. How do I get to that YouTube that I had up there? It's already up there. I queued it up. All right. Hang on, guys.
It's an ordinance.
What happens if I do that? Well, I call myself setting this up. I know I did. What's advanced? All right, I'll just load it up again. Bear with me, y'all. History. Man, am I in here? All right. Here we go.
So you're ready to get started at Jay?
Look for walk-away money. Y'all just talk amongst yourselves for the next.
I was gonna say, hey, while Gerald look for that, has anybody, speaking of leaps, because I think Gerald is about to talk through basically a different strategy than I use. And so while Gerald's looking for that, Gerald, you just let me know when you're ready. I'm gonna screen share again right quick, you all, and I'm gonna go through my strategy that Gerald just spoke about. Most of you already know, but let me I'll just go let's do Helion. All right, so, and I am going to pull it up, and this is probably going to turn into let me see, a bit of a debate. Not right or wrong, but more than likely probably like price. So when we talk about leaps, right? We all know that a leap, to me, I consider a leap a year or more. So basically, I want to give myself time for the stock to do what I need it to do. So when I talk about a leap, right? So if somebody says, hey, Delos, I got a leap for Helion 36 days out, I'm going to tell them that that's probably not a good idea because it's too close. It doesn't give you enough time for Helion to get any momentum behind it. So as an example, somebody may come in now, you can look at the 36 days to expiration. If a person spent $500 to do a 21 strike leap, is going to cost them $500. Now, I would say that's probably not a good strategy because it doesn't give Helion really, unless something hits the news, unless something miraculous happens. I don't think Helion is going to be over $21 36 days from now. I think it's just going to continue to trade sideways until some contracts come in to the table, or something drives the momentum up a little bit. So what I'm speaking of here now, if I was going to invest into Helion and I did want to buy a leap, right? So buying that leap allows me to control 100 shares without owning the stock itself. All right. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go down and I'm going to kind of move you around. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to show you where I would consider a leap to be. So I want to come down here to January 21st, 2022. And then I want to say, hey, I'll spend $1,000. I'll spend $1,000 to say that Helion will be at 22.5, 344 days from now, because as Helion moves, the price of this is going to change and in turn gives me the financial result that I'm looking for. And what Gerald is about to show us is, I think that the days to expiration is the same, but what the gentleman might be stating here in the video is there's a formula that's going to give him a strike price somewhere away from the money. So basically, in the yellow is in the money. This is near the money, and then what I'm about to open up is going to be out the money. And so this formula that the young man gives is going to be a out of the money strike price. It's going to be a little bit cheaper, but it's going to take a lot more work for the stock to get to that point. But the income that you will make off of it will gradually be the same. Like, not be the same. I said that completely wrong. It won't be the same as far as dollar for dollar, but 20% move, a 20% move at a 30 strike based on what you paid for it is equivalent to the 20% move at the 21 strike based on what you paid for it, if that makes sense.
I'm gonna need to process that. That's what I'm trying to get to. I think we're ready, but
Okay.
I was ready before, and then as soon as I shared my screen, everything, like, I couldn't find it, and it was crazy. So
Yeah.
let's try it again. If
Okay, well, I'll stop sharing, G, and I'll leave that up just in case you need me to switch back to it after the formula is given. Because AG, can we have everybody write the formula down and try to do one with Helion just to see where it gives you?
We're gonna do one after we watch this.
Okay.
And then we can walk you through the numbers as well.
Okay.
Can y'all see? You see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll play this video here. It's like 2 minutes or whatever. He goes over. This is bar chart that he has up, and I'll make it full screen.
And a bar chart.
You like bar chart?
Absolutely.
All right, so then let's do this.
Can y'all hear it?
You might turn the volume up, G.
Yeah, a little bit.
Right? You're like, hey, you know, I definitely want to definitely do some earning here. So I'm going to take this position and let's see what we can do here. So here's the 2-year. And as you can see, we're up 59% for 2 years since 8/03 of 2018. All right. Very, very simplistic. All right. Now I want you guys to pay attention here. Follow along with me because this is going to be super duper dope. All right, so let's say that, for example, for the 2-year, it's $64.05. Now, 5 cents. All right, so we're going to take the $64 and we're going to say, okay, hey, well, we're at 170. Now, if you guys can, pull up with me on your handy-dandy calculators. Now, normally, if you're playing a 2-year position, your exit point is probably within a year and a half. Right? Yep. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to get a little fun with the math. I mean, I'm peeling back the curtains for everyone here. So this was the episode that you tell a friend that tells a friend. All right. So we have the $64. So we take the 64 and then we divide that by 1.5. That puts us at 42. Now remember, SMH is currently trading at 171 and some change. But we're gonna just say $42 is the 1.5. We're just gonna round it. We're gonna round it to $43, and then we're gonna round the SMH to 172, just to be on the safe side. So we're gonna take the $43 and then add that to the 172. Notice, if you do that, you should be looking at a number of 215. Now, what we also like to do, if you want to be on the even safer side, is multiply that 215 and then multiply that times 0.1. That's 21.5. We're going to just round it down to just 21. So take the 215 minus 21, 194. Now, of course, you can play it, say, for example, 5% dip. I typically take away but you can find a healthy medium between 194 and 215. So if you're playing it in the healthy medium, then that's when you find a 205 and a potential 210 strike. Right it there.
Okay.
True story.
Yeah. It should be stopped. Yeah. Oh.
So in that case, so his strike point, you said from 195 to 215 out of the money there?
Did you know every time you shop on Amazon, you're helping someone?
Say it again, Tony.
Like say that the stock price was 172 or something. So his he's suggesting a strike point of 195 to 215.
Yeah, he gives you a window.
So out of the money, they're out of the money that far back.
Correct, and it's out of the money now.
Was it out of the money or was that in the money?
In that scenario, Jeff, it would be out of the money.
Every scenario that he gives with those formulas and his math takes you out of the money. Now, just kind of hold your thoughts right there because we can give you the math, but I want to show you. I'm going to pull up Jeanette's account so you can see. Let me say a new share. You can see the plug, which we did. This was the original way we learned. You see plug power. This is our original strike, and it's killing. It's our original leap, and we were at the doorstep. Plug. We did P&L open is 4,651. Okay, we did this. I think we got a strike of, was it 12? We got a strike of 12. So this is killing, and this is the way we learn. It's like if it ain't broke, kind of don't fix it. But Plug Power has been doing great. No complaints. Now you can kind of share. She's got this is her IRA account, and everything you see on here kind of is just leaps. Other than I think is Hyliion a leap.
Now I opened up SMH on the 4th of February, and so far with my P&L open, I'm at the 594.30. That's how much I've
Hey, we can't hear you, Jeanette.
I said that I did the SMH. I opened it up. I created my leap on 2/4. And I used the formula that Mark Monroe just went through.
Okay.
It gave me a leap of like 290. So that's what I put it at. And from 2/4 to today, I've gained 594.34.
Okay. Now, so I know, so Gerald and I kind of debated a little bit around this, right? And so I was kind of thinking that it was based on the fact that it was an ETF, and does this same formula work on an individual stock? Because ETFs move a little bit different than a regular stock may move. There's a whole lot more volume in it. So I was wondering if maybe we can do like a little trial. We can go to Hyliion. You can give out the formula, and let's try Hyliion and let's monitor it for 2 weeks, and then come back to the call with the results and just say, okay, hey, this is what happened based off the way that I explained it, based off versus this formula, just to see if my thinking is correct. And we can do it with an ETF and with Hyliion, and just to see if it's the same results.
Right. Let me add one more level of information, because this may change everything, especially the rules. He gives out, or their channel gives out, what they call 31 SIPs, which is basically their chosen stocks, and they do heavy vetting, and they have competition to choose a pro, and then a team chooses a con, and they just drill deep down. So, I mean, we can do the Hyliion, but Hyliion is not, you know, like Hyliion is not one of their 31 SIPs. So, I mean, I probably would never do his formula without researching one of those 31 stocks that he said. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we could do that, but that's just another level of information. Like they heavily research 31 stocks, and then they say, look, do your own research, but, you know, kind of stay inside of these 31. And that's kind of what we've been doing. You see on here, this AMD right here. That's obviously one of the stocks that he chose, and they refresh the list. It looks like every month they have a heavy competition to see which 31s are going to stay on there. They just refreshed the list. Now, Carmisha can chime in because we had this chat as well, and she gave me a real nice analogy, and it was referencing a car. And like I said, as an asset, and I think you and I talked about that, Delos. But I was trying to figure out, because in my mind, guys, I'm thinking, okay, Delos, I totally see the way that he was sharing. Like, you get in, you buy low, and then in a year and a half or so, when you roll out of it, it's been plenty of time for a good stock to kind of run away from you. And then obviously you collect those proceeds. That doesn't make sense in the way that this formula works. This Mark Monroe guy has us out here in left field, and we're nowhere really near where the stock is trading, yet you're still making money. And Carmisha, can you kind of share your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I just kind of said it was more along the basis of, like, you know, when you go to buy a brand new car on the lot overall Ford, you have the intrinsic value of the car itself overall Ford, but you have two sellers or two buyers, and on Wednesday they have a special deal overall Ford where they have the same criteria. They don't have to put down any money down for this one, and when they leave off the car lot, they have that car now is worth $15,000 overall Ford. The next buyer comes in on Thursday, and they actually put down some money overall for it. They pay up some money up front, and even when they leave off the market, their car is still now worth $15,000 overall for it. But it's when they go to cash it in, the one that actually kind of kept his money and for the down payment, like will have more profit at the end all game overall for it. When you look at the time wise, like the intrinsic value is still there. I think it's more so like his explanation for it is like, if you can afford it, because of course right there at the money, you're going to have you have more more time, more premium overall for it that you have to pay. But if you can't afford that one per se, you can still go back out of the money and still make 300%.
Right. And so and I think that we talking the same thing. So I was thinking that, like, his audience, so I had to take his audience and ETFs versus regular stocks and say, okay, this may be excellent for an ETF where a person don't have a lot of money and they can get in further away. But when I say, so if you think about it, movement is movement. So like if we $50 apart, but we both get $10, if we both receive $10, we both still receive the same percentage, right? So I'm thinking that it's more of that, like, and so and you'll hear this word a lot, right? You'll hear people say, hey, we're going to do some back testing. This is a perfect way to go in and do a back test. And even so Uncle G, if you want to give out the formula and let everybody do a paper trade, and let's back test it. And next Thursday, let's just kind of see what happens. Like if, and I'll do a regular stock. Somebody can do an ETF off the list, and then somebody do an ETF that they just like. You know what I mean? Just to see if we can back test the scenario. But
I'm sorry, what's your thought process with the ETF though? I mean, because AMD is an actual stock. AMD is not an ETF.
Yeah, AMD. So with ETFs, they're not as volatile as some of the individual stocks. So you're not going to get a whole bunch of jerky movement. You're going to kind of get a steady kind of flow of what you can kind of gauge where ETF might be going versus a regular stock. And the good thing about, so I do want to say this because I think this is really overlooked. ETF is basically, everybody know that an ETF is just a group of stocks, right? All up under one name. But those ETFs that are heavily like college endowments, 401ks, the reason why the ETF is going to steadily grow because every 2 weeks when those people get paid from those jobs, money is being dumped into these ETFs. Whereas a stock that's not the case. But if you think about the ETF in that manner, that there's some constant growth, especially like I think there's some ETFs that are more expensive than others. There are some that are less, some are less valuable. And I highly suggest though, even though you get a list from some of the YouTubers or Mark Monroe is been that man has been investing for almost 17 years. So he started kind of young. I know he appears to be young, but he started early, which is good. And I'm just saying, just back test some of the information that you get from anybody, including me, including some of the analysts on TD Ameritrade. Take what you trust but verify, right? So take an ETF, break it down, make sure the ETF got some good companies inside the ETF too. Now, so I always tell people invest in good companies. Like don't invest in a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend said something, right? Do your homework, do your research. But even with an ETF, still kind of be picky, right? If your ETF, if you want your ETF to have Apple in there, Workhorse in there, and Boeing in there, and Disney in there, break that ETF down before you just invest into it because somebody told you to. Go into the ETF and see what's in there, because that will determine the growth of the ETF too. And if you arm yourself with those things, then you can kind of pick the strike price that you can afford. And that's all I'm saying, right? That formula is going to give you a comfortable seat at the table, right? If you got the money and you got a good ETF that's moving in a good direction, then you get the head seat at the table. If you know what I mean. Some people can just afford to sit at the table. Some people can buy the table. Some people can buy the head chair at the table. So part of purchasing leaps is really based on what can you afford to buy? How much money can you afford to put out there, but have a good leap, have a good ETF. Still pick a good ETF. Like break that ETF down. If your I'll tell you right now, if your ETF got Nikola in it, you probably don't want it. You probably want to stay clear of that because that's going nowhere fast. And somebody needs to tell Nikola they are not a company. Quit acting like a real company. They out here, they go up and down like they're a real company. They don't have a product, they don't have anything. And people are investing in that, and that's what Robinhood allows people to do. Robinhood, yes, sir.
I'm talking about my Nikola, man. I got a POW out there, man.
And your prisoner of war gonna get picked up. Hey, look, it might get picked up in the next 60, 90 days, the way they trade, man. I'm like, what is going on? Somebody knock on the door and tell them people that they don't have a job. Somebody show up and cut the lights on every day. Like, who's paying you? Why you keep coming here? Yeah. Jesus. All right. But so Uncle G, I don't know if you got the formula wrote down on like a PowerPoint or something you can pop up and show everybody they can write it down, or you can give it out.
I can give it out. Actually, I have it written down.
How about we put it in the group chat?
Yeah, I can do what?
Put it in the group chat.
Yeah, I can do that. And I can also send the link and timestamp the video for you, and I can email it so that you got literally the formula, at least the example that he did.
That's a good look.
Yeah.
But like Dello said, it's a ton of information out there. And as I find these video channels, and the thing that I found is that, you know, I have a couple of voices that's in my ear that's giving me these seeds and these nuggets, as I say. You know, we come here and we exchange ideas, and then when you begin to do your research, there may be somebody that their voice ministers to you a little bit more. So if I'm here, if I'm on the Come Up Cousins and that other lady, Delos, Black Girl Stocks, I like her, but you know what? I can only take so much of her because she does so much editing, man.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But a couple of those other guys that you sent, the older gentlemen, the black guys, but it's exciting to me, man, because you do some research out here, and it seems like all of a sudden there's a boom in our culture. Maybe it's been out there all along, or maybe COVID has moved people more towards, you know, this genre of income. But man, I'm loving, you know, brown people out here learning what we doing.
Definitely think, Drew, that COVID has had a huge impact. I mean, I believe they've been doing it all along, but I think COVID has had a huge impact, man.
Yep, I second that, Jeff, because you see more brown people out there now, man, and I'll be excited for everybody. And Jeff, I appreciate your presence now, but early on, I used to tell everybody, and I don't think they understood what I was saying when I was like, hey, I don't investor bash, meaning I knew that as time went on. Now, the language that you hear should not confuse anybody, right? When somebody talk about leaps, and you guys got the language, right? You can actually, everybody on this call can walk in a room and have a conversation with another trader because you know all the terms and all the stuff, right? So that, to me, that's the hardest part. And then to implement that, everybody on this call has really done well, like in the last 7-8 months. I think everybody has done, I would hope everybody has done better than they had done the previous 8 months before they had this information. And now that you have it, nobody can take it away from you, right? It's only going to get better. And the reason why I make that I don't investor bash statement is because I know that everybody, as you should, will go out and seek information. There's a ton of stuff that's going to hit your phone. And there's a lot of stuff that you may bring back to the call that you want to share. I agree with it. I agree with it all. But understand that, hey, some of the terms are the same. Some of the logic is, the logic and the terms should stay the same, right? You shouldn't hear something somewhere else that's so foreign that you don't understand what they're saying. All of it circle back at some point, right? And I told everybody this too, Jeff, early on. You have 10 traders, everybody's gonna have their little niche and what they like to do. And so when you acknowledge that, then you know that, hey, people are gonna take what they learn and run off and do something fabulous with it. You know what I mean? Which is what they should do. Like we should discuss Mr. Mark Monroe. We should discuss, you know, hey, the penny stock strategy that Tony's wife friend did. You know, that was a tremendous story. And you should always keep an open ear to anything new, right? This call for us is just to communicate how we communicate, right? Like I wouldn't drag everybody on here and say, hey, pick these 10 stocks, right? That's not what this was supposed to be. This was basically a platform, Jeff, to basically peel the training wheels off a little bit and get everybody rolling. But everybody on the call is pretty much doing their own thing. And what Gerald is going to share with us, I think a lot of people have done a lot of good things. in the last 8 months, I would say that everybody went from 0 to 100 really quick, and as your career takes off, you're gonna learn so much more stuff, and you may like something, you may hate something, but take it. I always say, hey man, go back to your fundamentals if you ever get crossed up into something, and just start fresh. Like, don't be scared to say, hey, okay, I can't do this. Let me just go back to the basic fundamentals. And I always say my basic fundamentals is, hey man, invest in a good company. You can never go wrong with that. That's for sure.
That's good talk right there, man. That's real.
Yeah, Uncle G, do you want to get, or I guess I probably started talking while you was thinking, but you gonna put the formula out there in the group chat for everybody?
Yeah, I'll send it to the WhatsApp chat.
Okay.
Is that good?
So,
is that cool for everybody?
Huh?
Is that cool? Is that cool for everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good look.
So what I'm gonna do, right? I'm gonna back test it. I'm gonna back test that strategy with Boeing is too easy to do it against, because it'll move $10 and I'll already be beyond. But I want to do it with something. So the reason why a lot of people, with Boeing, right? Boeing is great for leaps, but it's expensive. And I'll share, maybe if I can share my screen, I'll show you why. Some companies are good for leaps, like CCL. I'll do this. This is what I'm about to do. CCL will be perfect. Now, mind you, CCL 52-week high before COVID hit was trading at $56, $58, and CCL paid a 50-cent dividend before all the what we call it, G, the kerfuffle. Before all of that happened, they were trading at like 50, 58 bucks. So if I went to, knowing that information, right, knowing all of that, if I went out, and I'm gonna go out 344 days now.
So Delos, here's what we can do. While you're doing that, we'll go through what you're doing the leap right now with CCL, correct?
Yep.
And then after that, we can find a strike point with the
formula. Yes.
And I can just talk you through it, or we can.
Or you can just, or you can do the formula right quick, and I'll just open this chart up to show the whole range.
Okay. I was gonna walk you through, but that's fine. You can do that, and we'll find one. We'll do one with CCL.
All right. So basically, CCL is currently trading at 2072. After I was trading 2072. All right. So we are 344 days out, right? Now I just told everybody before COVID, CCL was trading at $58. They're currently trading at 2072, right? Mm-hmm. So I want you to get the concept of why I picked CCL. I'm predicting CCL to go back to the $58. But I say that it's going to happen before the 304. I think it's going to happen before January of 2022. So I will come out here, and for me, I will purchase, and you can see the volume, right? The open interest in here. Mm-hmm. 19,372 other people say the same thing. Mm-hmm. Now, the further you go out, the cheaper. The further I go out in the price, right? Mm-hmm. The cheaper the cheaper the purchase of the option is going to get. Now, this is huge. This right here, that's a ton. And even here, that's very unusual option activity. It's a lot of people betting on this. And this is just with the volume from today. That's 3,998 contracts. That's the incoming volume. That's today's volume. This is how many contracts. This is how many people are saying. Either they're saying, "Hey," now you don't. Now this the flip side of this is you don't know if they're on the call or put side of things. But the interest in this strike price is overwhelming on both sides. Even if this was split down the middle 50-50, 25,000 contracts on one side and 25,000 on the other, this is a lot. So even if I came in at the 30 strike price, 344 days from now, it's going to cost me $360 to control 100 shares. And all I'm saying is the stock is going to be over $30 344 days from now. Now, as the stock price moves up, this will become in the money. So you can possibly buy a $360 put, and it could eventually turn into a $1,400 or $1,600 gain based on how far it moves past your current strike price. And this is why I consider it's already trading at 2071. I'll come in here and do a $545 put because it gives me a better chance at success as well, because I'm saying I think it's going to be at the $30 range or the $35 range. But if I come out here to $35, these will increase, but they won't increase as much as the one that I purchased closer to the money. You will make money, yes, because this number will go up. The more this shade, I call this yellow stuff here, the more this shade falls down in this area, the bigger these numbers get on both sides. So I'm telling you, I got 2,000 shares of CCL because I believe that it's gonna double. And I believe if you didn't want to control 1,000 shares, you could come buy 10 contracts. You could come in here and spend $3,600, sorry, and control the same shares that I'm controlling.
So Delos, I know I've done with a couple of my leaps. I've bought in the money also. Would you recommend that, like stay at the 1750 strike, pay the 740? I've done that before.
And you're absolutely right. And all I said, it's your financial appetite. It depends on if you got enough cash to do it. And so there's a lot of different, reasons why I think Mr. Morrow may have pointed out, he used ETFs quite a bit, which is good. They're excellent for this type of strategy. And his formula puts you out here, G, if you got that number, you've done the math.
Yeah, but Delos, we got a lot of regular stocks on here too, bro. I mean, I'm looking at the newest list.
Okay.
Nvidia, Tesla, Apple.
Yep.
I mean, you got Roku, Nike, Netflix.
Yep.
These are the ones that I said, like, now it's probably weighted heavy with ETFs, but I'm just saying, as I look at this, a lot of these companies that we familiar with, your Roku obviously is on here.
Yes.
So yeah, I do have a number.
So based on the formula, Gerald's going to give us.
For this CCL, where we at? Yeah.
For CCL. Now I'm at the 22.5 strike.
Okay, yeah. The comfortable strike with his formula will be 58.
Whoa. So he puts you way down here.
Yeah.
And I say, hey, back test it. I may go in tomorrow and just do it live.
No, don't do it live though.
Well, I want to see only because like it's $122, right? I figure if I do 5 of them just to see, I'll do 3 of these and 1 of those just to see the difference.
But you know what, Gerald? I also think that for a company like CCL, because it doesn't have a lot of room to run away with, you might not ever get over that point. Some of the other ones, those PFTs and some of those other ones have an opportunity to get over that strike point.
That's kind of the point. See, he's talking to a specific audience that are following, one of the 31 stocks that he's chosen and vetted. So I don't know if us going outside of those 31, I don't know if we'll get the right kind of information from a back test. I'm not sure.
Well, we can do, you said AMD?
Yeah, he definitely has AMD in there. That's one of them.
Or ZS.
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 Disney, Nike.
XLK.
Is XLK an ETF, right, Chuck?
That's an ETF. Yeah. Any of those X's, yeah. NVIDIA, Netflix. What is TBT?
I don't know what that is. That must be an ETF.
Hey, also he got Twilio in there too, Delos.
Twilio, yep. Twilio, a good company.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
I hadn't checked out TAN, TAN, or HD.
HD is Home Depot.
Okay, that is right. He got HD in here for sure. Disney.
Yep. So and so this AMD, right? And if you come out a year from now, you can see, because AMD is already trading high, it's not a whole lot of activity here compared to what we were just looking at, and for no other reason than that.
Right.
But I would be like, hey, I'm gonna come in at 230 because AMD has, to me, AMD has kind of ran its course, and I'll show you why I would be right in the money. I'll show you right now. I'm gonna go to AMD and look at I will be at the 230 strike, and I'm gonna have to reshare my screen here.
You in ZS now?
You in ZS? You in ZS right now?
Okay, ZS. Sorry. Let's see what ZS 52-week high is. All right, let's see how much room we got.
ZS has been really good. I just got them like a day ago, and they already up like $300+.
Yep. So ZS 52-week high is only $5 from where it's at right now. So for anybody think that it's going to run up, if I had to go use the formula going to sit me up probably, I don't know how far away, but it's going to sit me, it's going to, actually ZS will have to hit a new 52-week high in order for me to collect what I would be looking to collect. Because right now it's the 52-week high, it's only $5 away from it's only $5 away from the 52-week high now. And then I would be going in at 230, meaning it would have to break the 52-week high by $3 just for me. And if that formula is going to put you,
250 probably.
Yeah, 250. Then you might not ever see that money again. That might not happen.
Right.
And I'm saying but the point I'm trying to make here too is you have a whole year for that to happen. So this ain't so in a whole year, this stock could be $300. But I'm just saying.
What's your strike in ZS right now? What did you have to do yours at, Jiro?
Yeah, I have to pull it up, man. I did it a couple of days ago.
Okay, I'm looking at mine. My ZS is at
I was gonna say, I think you was at.
I did mine at 270.
Yeah. But see, also Delos, keep in mind, because this is basically the Roaring 20s. If you guys have seen the Roaring 20s, the strategy is based on how he set that strategy up is when you come into it looking for anywhere between 200 and 400%. Okay. In that year and a half. Once you reach your target, he's saying that, you either reset your goals, because let's take that plug that Jeanette showed you earlier. I mean, that's at 800%. So got in. That's pretty good. So now we're at the point now where it's time to either pivot to take some of those profits and then open up another leap, or to set up what is that? What I was looking at today, a OCO. What is it? One cancels the other, which is you know, a formula that you put in on your leap, so that any leg, whether it's your sell or your bought leg, whichever one gets affected, if it drops down 20%, it will take you out, not kick you out, and you take your profits. You walk away. Or if, you know, it goes south, or if it hits your first sell leg, it'll kick you out. So at this point, 800%, you know, it's time to reevaluate. So let's take what we're looking at now, the ZS. We would be looking at this. So when we get around 200% or 400% in the next 8 months, who knows? 12 months, 14 months. At that point, I mean, obviously, like you taught us, I'm not super concerned about the company. I'm concerned about my profits. At that point, I'll pivot, maybe find another company on bar chart that's doing better than, you know, ZS is doing at that time. So I don't necessarily have to get to the year and a half. Obviously, I'm trying to get to my target point.
Target point, correct.
Definitely. Hey, man. Hey, fellas, I got to cut out people. I got to cut out, man. But Joe, you're going to send that link and so forth, man. So I'll catch up to that, man. Good meeting, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Jeff.
All right.
Okay. Take care.
Yeah, so we'll you get that link out, G. So I think I'm gonna do it in I'm gonna try to back test it with CCL and see how I want to just see the movement of both. That way I can track it and kind of share it with everybody. Hey, this is what it did. Because I think, you know, based on what Carmish was saying, it was kind of like my same thinking. Like, I think the price is going to move equally across, because like I'm paying more for one, I'm paying less for another. But I think the gains that's going to be attached to each movement, each positive movement, is going to give me kind of the same percentage based on what I paid for it. So we'll do that and share the results. Does anybody else have anything? Huh?
Just for information purposes, I looked it up. I got a 290 strike with this ZS. 290?
Okay.
Let me see. Yeah.
And do you have your profit loss of it? I mean, you just got it, obviously, right? So you probably had no.
I can share it with you. It's my PL open is 395. I just got it Tuesday.
Okay.
So I made $395 so far.
That's for so two-year lead.
Yeah, I did it. I did a bar chart. I looked at the 2-year position like he started off.
2-year, okay.
Did the formula from there and where it was the last trade, the last price. So, no, not bad for a couple of days so far.
He say not bad for a couple of days.
But today was an off day. You know, it was down $50 today. So
yeah, it's all good. It happens.
It happens.
So I think I'm gonna hop off here. If anybody got anything in particular they want to discuss, been a good discussion today.
Yeah, I'll put that link out there for you.
Hey, Delos.
Yo.
What you think Holly-Eye gonna do tomorrow?
Is there something special happening?
They had that new battery.
Man, it happened today, and it just blew me out the freaking water.
Yeah.
Did it happen after hours?
No. It happened during hours, yeah, because it's been sitting about $16. Yeah, at close to closing, they got a new battery that came out that recharges in 8 minutes and stuff. Yeah, so it blew up. It blew up at the end.
38 hot.
Hey! I tell you what. You might want to go in there and do a couple leaps if you ain't got maybe you do that, because hold on, I'm pulling it up on my phone right now.
Yeah, it went up.
Yeah,
I think it's probably gonna go up tomorrow too, Chuck. It's probably go up a little bit more.
You think so?
It's gonna pull back, Chuck. Just catch the little 10% pullback before it break out again.
Right.
What's it at now? 24? Is it at 24 now?
No, I said 20, 21.
21?
Oh no, 20, I think it was.
20.
What you gonna do, Chuck? Wait for the pullback?
Hey, I've been holding back for a minute, man. I'm gonna see what it's gonna do tomorrow.
Chuck said he's going to pick his stimulus check up from Washington, D.C., and he going to get to the first Starbucks, get it submitted.
No, look, hey, I got a daggone buy back. I got 500 shares out there at 18.5.
Oh.
18.5?
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, my strike's at 29. I'm at 29 strike.
I'm at a 30. I got a 30 with two contracts.
Okay, I got a 30 lead.
Yeah. Y'all might want to put that in that Deion Sanders mode.
Yeah, I got to bag it up. I'm gonna have to buy out because my really what it got put to me at was I think it was 54.
Yeah,
and then today I got caught up at 18.5.
Yeah, you want to scoot that back, Chuck, because that battery. That battery, the good thing about battery technology is, man, they can sell that to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't necessarily need the truck now. They got the technology of the battery, especially if it's recharging. They say 8 minutes.
Yeah.
An 8-minute recharge on the battery.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
He leaked it out on Twitter too. I was like, oh man.
Do y'all follow the Helion on Twitter? Do y'all follow any of these companies on like Twitter and all that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, no, I'm pulling up.
Hey,
Yeah,
you know, I use this blog called Stock Twits. You heard of that?
Yeah.
That's what Kalen uses, man. I'm like,
yeah.
And I kind of use that. But today I was just caught up in meetings and had my phone on silence. The daggone alert went off. I ain't even check it until I was driving to the club. And it said it was at 20. I was like,
Yeah.
What's the name of that stock that you say? The blog.
Oh, Stock Twits. So Stock Twits, TWITS.
Stock Twits. Okay.
And all you got to do is put in a symbol and they'll tell you some certain things about it. But you're going to have to vet it like anything else. Because, you know, I was still in fuel cell at 7 on Elite.
Yeah, speaking of fuel cell, it's taking off for you, Chuck.
Yeah, I'm just going to hold on. It went back down a little bit today, but I'm just holding on.
But man, is that 25 for when Kalen got in at what?
Kalen got in at 8 and he got 400 shares of it.
Yeah, buddy. Now, before we get off the call, I'm just gonna say this. So I know Tony had talked about this little penny stock situation. Now, check this out. Like I didn't. This is a company that a buddy of mine just did the same thing again. You know what? It ain't even gonna come up because there's no options. Hold on, let me close this. There's no options with it. He didn't do as good as the other lady, but he did about $8,000. And it was this company was the first company with the medical marijuana that a lot of people started following.
Okay.
And so what he did was, when it was at 9 cents, he dumped in like $5,000 and it went to 11 cents. And he been playing this thing back and forth, man, for a long time.
Yeah, my wife's friend, she's heavy into the marijuana stocks also. She had asked me if I was involved with it, but yeah, she named one company that she kind of recommended and stuff. But yeah, like she said, she feels that more and more states are going to legalize it, and eventually, the federal government's going to get involved and maybe okay it. But yeah, she's heavy into the marijuana stocks.
Yeah. Now this company right here is the one that I had got. When I told you all about one of the bad trades that I made early on, they are up. I just sold this at $17. But this is Kronos Group. Kronos Group is they used to be around the $30 mark. Now they are based in Canada. They are one of the heavy hitters in that space. And the other one is this one. So that was Kronos, CRON. And the other one that I had was Tilray. Tilray is another big player in that space. They're also based in Canada. So those are the three. Like I looked at MGNA, Tilray, and Kronos, which is CRON. I'm not a big fan of it. I talked to Carmisha about this, I would say 2 or 3 months ago. I'm not a big fan of it because my money been trapped in Kronos for a long, long time, and I kind of got a bad taste in my mouth about it. But it happened right as President got in. I thought it was gonna take off, and it kind of tanked a little bit. A lot of people kind of lost out. But if Carmisha, you got a Carmisha had one she was following. Carmisha, you got one that you follow?
Yeah, I think she's gone.
She gone? Okay.
Yeah, she had to get on another call.
Okay.
What was the stock that everybody got in with keeping in? What was that? ACB or AD?
ACB. Yeah. ACB. It said 15.
I don't remember what it was there.
But it said that it's down $4 today. And what's crazy is these cannabis stocks are starting to get crazy volume. It's a lot. That's a heavy day. So a lot of back and forth right there.
Like say, I've been researching the medical. I've been going into healthcare and the medical side, and I'm looking at it's a SPAC. It's a new SPAC, GIX, and they're merging. Actually, this company they're merging with 2 healthcare companies. It's the first time that the Seed Capital 2, and it's just at $10 right now. And the warrants too. The warrants like $1.25 for the warrants, and I was on YouTube doing some research, and it looks pretty good. Like I said, they're merging with UpHealth and something Cloud. There's 2 companies that they're merging with, but there's some positive stuff that's coming up. I'll be reading about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And it looks like they got ratings. So I would, hey Tony, like you know how I kind of started off.
Yeah.
I would just kind of dive into this page here and just to see, what people are saying. Just I don't see any analysts on it about it yet. I guess because it is a SPAC, so it's so new, they probably don't have it, a lot of detail. But any little information you can find out about it would be helpful.
Yeah, hey Tony, go on StockTwits, StockTwits, and see what they're saying.
Okay. Yeah, they said it's like, I guess the big one now is Telecom, which is about $200 right now. And they're thinking it's going to be another Telecom down the road. So.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, I'm going to have to wrap it up if anybody have anything. All right. Well, I hope everybody have a worthless expiration Friday. And stay blessed, everybody. And I'll see you all next week.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Chat at you later.
All right. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Take care.